here to continue our legacy or something like that. Whatever is the closest thing to us, basically. What's up? Is this thing? Oh no, I'm not dual streaming on YouTube. Who could have expected that? What a great error. What a costly mistake. This will end up costing us 20,000 hours or something like that. No. Such a meaningful thing. Also, I opened Twitter instead of Discord. I am amazing. Can I don't have to open anything else. First and foremost, can you put the clock to work? There we go. Good evening. What am I missing? I am missing something, yeah. Let me, now for real, do this thing of this here plus this other thing here. There we go. How many? 11 days of Path of Exile. How much is this motherfucker going to do the exact same thing? Great question. Who knows? Until I finally get bored of it, I guess something like that probably. That's the proper answer. It's not exactly that I was forgetting something, but I should have actually changed this a lot sooner. Let me reposition this stuff. Do you want to work? There we go. Amazing. Everything is setting up and... no, not everything. We're also, to some extent, testing the internet. Anyway. It's a brand new day. Have you seen that movie yet? Wow. I talk as if I have seen it. Una boida, ligeramente. No clue. Oh no, Spider-Man dies at the very end. Nobody knows. Not, is it even out? Like, what the fuck am I talking about? Brand new day, Spider-Man. Let me see. No, it's for the July 30, 2026. And July 30, 31st, 31. How the fuck do you say that number? To be released in Spanish, so whatever. I love that discrepancy between time zones and whatnot. Not exactly time zones, but that whole, basically, yeah, the discrepancy between, oh yeah, we have on one hand this being already aired here in this area of the world, and on this other area has not yet come out, because, oh, what a beautiful universe, we're all interconnected, so you get bombarded with the spoilers no matter what you do. It's such an amazing world. Nothing better than to want to watch something that you like, just to get, not exactly the experience ruined, but robbed of the possibility of experiencing the novelty itself. And I don't know, something about being a real fan, and that it actually is upsetting that you are missing out on the opportunity of participating in the existent discourse and whatnot in whatever was it that you liked. In this case, the example that I'm trying to utilize is particularly, yeah, the whole Spider-Man fandom, or I guess Marvel fandom, whatever. But the whole world of whichever thing that you actually like, that you're actually forced to not participate in, because the moment in which you do, you are going to actually find out how you don't have access to the same thing as the rest in the exact same time frame, so you cannot really say much from your own perspective. You can only reply to others, I guess, something along those lines, and that is unavoidably horrible. The consequence of so much connectivity, but at the end of the day, so much also nothing truly gained, simply because unavoidably we have so much of a distance between what we want to get, what we want to consume, and what others get to also consume, to the degree to which, in that case, you're more than not just an observer, more like what's this expression, something along the lines of you live vicariously through the experiences of others, basically. And that is the normal way of consuming media nowadays. Like, I don't know, it's quite crazy. To some extent, it's quite crazy. And you could make the analysis that perhaps oral tradition has just been mutated into that and been taken into that particular shape, as in, yeah, now we don't talk anymore about having these other things, but rather we. You know what? I am not setting up anything. I am actually absolutely done. Let me properly change the arrows over here. True. We have 3 minutes. I am going to respect the timer, I guess. Anyway, I was saying that yeah, we have the whole perspective of you live vicariously because that's the norm to some extent. There are so many things that are difficult to actually directly experience that it is only possible to know about them and to be capable of saying anything in what regards to those things through seeing it through the eyes of others, borrowing the vision that another person creates out of what they see, what they consume, what they like, and what not. And sometimes, unavoidably, the whole aspect of even if the person that is sharing that piece of media with you, of whatever it is with you, I say media, it can be whatever, with you, even if the person doesn't alter the particular vision, the already existing notions that they're inputting while the transmission of the thing itself is done, allows it to be tainted in some way, modified, not tainted, might as well denote something negative, modified, altered in a way in which the opinion that you possess and the way in which you interact with the content already changes it entirely. And yeah, I would say, not exactly that it is something, oh wow, so horrible, but simply that it is interesting to see that we have normalized it to this extent, but it's understandable. It's something along the lines of, in this, how can you actually mention it without, the easy route is always, yeah, I can now blame capitalism. Not exactly, there is something else. It's the whole model of capitalism is the explanation that you use when you don't actually get what the fuck you are trying to say. The true word is something along the lines of, you know what is happening? There is this important, incredibly important issue of I cannot really say anything in regards to this thing because I do not have access to the thing itself directly. I can only see and intake whatever it is that is being shared, is being discussed and whatnot through the other person, which gives enacts, creates that possibility for me to consume it. And it is not about having or not capital, but rather there is such a wide array of the population that relies on that unavoidably you are going to be basing yourself on the necessity of having people consuming stuff through that through those mediums, basically. It's, once again, it's not quick explanation is capitalism. It's not exactly that, but you use that word and we all act like we actually understand what the fuck is the point and we move past that, even if there is nothing clear being said about that. But yeah, point being. And I don't know. Is it bad? I don't think so. It's just strange to see how much of a normalized thing it has become. You would have expected that people would have been far more willing to actually have things done by themselves, experienced through their own hands, through their own methods, not given by an external factor, but rather gained through the things that they get through, basically that. And I don't know, it is still to some extent to, anyways. It doesn't mean that we are going to die simply because you cannot directly watch the movie that you'll want to the day that it comes out. That's not the point of the analysis. But yeah, whatever. We are done with. I am actually overdue like 1 minute, so oh no. Good morning. Today We are here. What a great question. What are we here for? No, we are here to continue playing Path of Exile. And my stance, I will give it to you once. Yeah, we could spend an hour before playing talking. You know what? What about not doing that? What about not at all trying to do that? What a meta. No, yeah. I still do not enjoy it, so we are not going to do that. Let me activate the audience again before actually transitioning into that scene. Is it a scene? Yeah, scene. The game scene. Wow. So true. We have audio. We should have everything, and it isn't lagging. So we are so great. There we go. Good morning. Today, Path of Exile, chapter 1. No, 11. It quote unquote 11. Actual question, wait, shut up, chat. Here. Played? Is it played or playtime? Played. 2 days, 14 hours, 56 minutes, and 56 seconds. So around 48, 58, 62 hours or so, supposedly. Good. No. Yeah, great enough, great enough. And also, I did forget out something. I am always amazing. It is impossible to not forget out something. There are so many things. Life is so full of stuff. How to not forget things in the process of being? Anyway, here we are. Anything of actual substance to say in terms of, oh no, yeah, what an interesting change that happened. Not really. It's just me having an inventory full of of chaoses. Don't worry about it, guys. What a sudden encounter that is. How do you explain it? You don't explain it. You just accept that that is a thing, and we all act like that's understandable. No. The reality is, yeah, I got some extra. I think not some as in plural, like one more divine, and that's it. That's the whole reason that I got to buy some more chaoses, because buying things costs chaoses and plural there. So whatever. The point is not the game. I haven't. Let me construct it more coherently. Not exactly last day. At some point in this handful of streams in Path of Exile, there was something that I mentioned about the whole aspect of how here, whenever we do something and whenever we try to act in regards to things and whatnot. Also, wait. This is then. Actually, no. Let me, for the sake of avoiding to do. No, wait. I actually can utilize them there. Amazing. Yeah, I was saying that, yeah, one of the handful of arguments that I tried to basically build up throughout all of the things that we ought to talk here and whatnot was that in the end, it seemed to be the case that truly we had something of quote-unquote importance to discuss, something that seems to be interesting. Whenever I mentioned that before, I said it under the subtitle or under the category of why is it so weird? Or in itself it is something weird. The question lies in why does that actually happen so much, that we tend to have such a tendency towards the desire to explain the world, so to speak, and that incredibly high emphasis on things need to possess this degree of meaning. And I made many arguments inside of all of that conversation, but the final conclusion was still I did not actually get why that happened. I didn't feel at the moment that like there was any proper explanation, I guess. But holy god, I was saying, despite the lack of a proper way of understanding it and a reasonable enough way of seeing it, it was possible to say, but whatever it is, whatever has created that thing and made it exist, so to speak, it has to be to some extent true that most certainly we as human beings seem to have the possibility of explaining the world, and we have a huge tendency to do so. And in the situation of when I encounter symbols and when I encounter things that make sense and that can possess a layer of not simply meaning, but rather a layer of metaphorical value, things that get to be more than what they simply are in a first place, so to speak. Whenever that happens, I have always the chance of speaking about it as if it's not as if it, because it is something truly valuable. And the issue itself lies in, but I don't really know how many times it actually occurs that people actually understand this, the proper word is symbolic value. The shortened version, the simple meaning is, yeah, the whole aspect of the metaphorical representations that are embedded in the things that we see, that we consume and whatnot. That's the whole sense of whenever somebody says, yeah, this has some sort of symbolic value, some sort of there is a particular word that is utilized. It's the signs utilized, and particularly if you read more on it, the whole notion of semiotical signs, particularly, so to speak, and whatnot. That's that whole thing, basically. Whichever it is, the name itself doesn't matter. The notion that has importance inside of it is that, yeah, there are things that matter and there are things that can get understood by their by what they get to represent, by what the metaphors that they hide within themselves get to showcase, so to speak. But there is a certain issue inside all of that of, but I don't really know how many times can I actually see, can I actually understand which things do possess those qualities and which other things do not at all have those same, yeah, those same options and those same qualities themselves, so to speak. And how the notion of we are all grown-up people, but at the very same time, I don't think that it just has to do with growing up, that everybody just because they have become adults, so to speak, we all get to understand those very same symbolical values and whatnot, and the metaphors hidden within all the realities of the world, or however you want to say it. That's the concept itself. I have already tried to explain it multiple times at this point. Point being, that thing exists, and I finished there. I kept on, I wouldn't say exactly pondering, it was more like a sudden moment of insight of, perhaps this is a proper or a more understandable explanation of why that could happen, and it has to do a lot with, it seems to be, at least based on how I see it, it seems to be the case that actually there is a lot of, why do I keep dying to these guys? Why do they do so much damage? It is crazy to see that. I was saying, it has, at least in my eyes, something to do with, okay, if it is possible that we could all understand something about the metaphors, but we do not do that, then isn't there something else that I might have been missing in the whole quote-unquote analysis of that question? Isn't there something that unavoidably went ignored in my eyes and got paid no attention whatsoever when I was trying to think out this very same question? And I think I found something minimally correct, or minimally what's the proper word? thing that can be plausible as an explanation. It possesses a degree of plausibleness, basically. It might not be the correct explanation, but it sounds plausible enough to, at that point, then be valuable. And it has to do a lot with the personal values. I feel like unavoidably I did skip a lot in the aspect of how is it that so many people could understand things, yet at this very same time I do not have the sensation that truly we all get to see the metaphors and the metaphorical values and the representations and the symbols that are hidden within reality and all of those things. In that explanation, I feel like I absolutely missed the point of, but there is something that particularly binds somebody to the capacity of understanding that or not, and that is, I am pretty sure, if a person can realize that. Also, wait, why do I die so rapidly? Like, 18% increased monster damage shouldn't instantaneously kill me. I don't get why am I dying so fast. Can happen, I guess. In fever? Probably? I don't think so. Whatever. Point being that, yeah, there is something that I believe explains the existence of that capacity, so to speak, and that is, at the least so far from what I have experienced myself already, so to speak, you, whenever you're trying to learn about psychology and whatnot, you're almost forced to deal, to reckon, and to talk out those very same symbols. There is, first and foremost, the whole aspect of, yeah, whenever I get to understand the metaphors that are at play, I get then to get rid of the necessity of saying, of thinking, of expressing anything else in regards to, okay, what is the thing that might exist here that isn't expressly said, isn't expressed, but it is implied in the possibility of the things that are being said, basically, of basic symbols. The whole aspect of, okay, when you see in something like a movie a man crying, when you see a man under the rain and the tone of the movie itself was very sad, you can always get the understanding that, yeah, the thing that we're talking about is therefore the whole metaphor, what I said before, of the man is crying, the guy is crying, the person. There is no possibility always for discussing directly or expressing directly those emotions and whatever. But what does exist is, at the very least, the possibility of having that other side in which you're actually implying that this other thing happens. And such symbols of that sort, you're, I wouldn't say exactly trained, you're just allowed to understand. One of the many, I will say, ways to approach psychology has to do a lot with, what are the symbolical values expressed or latent in the things that are being said and in the things that are being discussed and whatnot. And it is to such a degree an existent notion that whenever you talk about those, once again, the symbolical values, you understand that there are things implied within almost everything, basically. The words that we utilize are almost never the important thing, but rather what you get to understand once you analyze the words themselves that are being utilized. That's a simple enough conception, so to speak, simple as it can be to summarize so much of that whole theory, I guess. But yeah, point being, the whole notion of, therefore, there are things that are being said that are not being expressed directly, but that are being implied within any message, and only with the approach, with the decision to actually get closer to this very same way of understanding things, quote unquote. It's not about, oh yeah, I get to understand, you do not. Simply the possibility of getting or not to see yourself, and getting or not to try and in any way possible simply, so to speak, yeah, have it be a thing that plays some role in your existence. When that happens, when you let that occur, you're actually also given the possibility of, okay, then what might we be actually talking about? But otherwise, the average person might as well not realize that it exists to such a degree. And the most important thing also is not just that it exists in that category of the not so expressed aspects of reality, but particularly it does so in the encoding of, by doing the work to try to understand those very same symbols, it is that then you can realize that sometimes there could be, first and foremost, there might be something expressed. The issue was, I was assuming that every single thing always contains within itself some meaning of some sort, when in reality, it's not always the case. In some cases, there is an imposition of the vision that you yourself possess about the thing. That's when I finally realized, this was what I was missing, the whole aspect of, you actually need to also remember that the thing that you are trying to talk out, the thing that you are trying to have in your mind, the thing that you are quote unquote caring for and whatever, that thing also does to some extent rely on knowing that things exist, but not simply based on what you can see, what you can observe, but also, wait, can I you may identify and can I save this thing? What am I trying to save this thing? Cloth belt, letter belt. Probably here, I guess. Probably there. Anyway, so I was saying that, yeah, it becomes somewhat possible to actually observe it, but only under those conditions of, okay, you have gotten to understand that things exist under that view, with those conditions of, when you're talking about psychological aspects of a person, then you see that sometimes meanings are embedded in other things, because the expression of the thing itself, which you're looking for, is far more difficult to actually access. But that is already a presupposition. What matters the most is, it might as well be the case that there is something in the order of, okay, I know to some degree that what I am exploring myself might have something to do with this sort of notion. So, in getting to realize that, I have not just the possibility, but also to some extent even the necessity of dealing with what does it actually mean based on the symbol that I can identify with the previously built up knowledge. But things don't always possess any other meaning, or what I was saying before, or what I used the last time that I referred to this, the expression of, because there is a huge problem, mostly when you talk about art, for example, there is something also that exists in the quality of the human expressions, simply put, of sometimes you actually find out that people simply want to make things and want to express themselves in whichever way they feel like doing, and in doing so itself, it also happens that, you know what, sometimes people are actually living things in an open-ended way. There is no such directly expressed message. There are some things that rather end without any other explanation, that have no exact endpoint to begin with. They can possess an endpoint, but by nature, by the very nature of their creation, so to speak, they do not. And in the artistic realm, that is possible, but everywhere else that is not acceptable. Once you utilize the psychological analysis of those things, and it is the issue of, okay, the problem might not actually be that things of this sort exist. The problem might actually be that things of this sort exist to the degree to which you can sometimes not realize that you're influencing already what you are trying to observe, because you are utilizing that very same method. It is only possible to access that vision of the metaphorical values and whatnot once you finally get to approach that. Otherwise, things don't always carry some hidden, latent meaning and whatever. And I feel like I'm forgetting something. I guess to some extent that is basically the sum of the explanation. That the problem lies more than anything else in the reality or in the notion of, there is nothing that truly has a value inside of these things. It just happens that I have something that I care for that nobody here does anything about. Because we can all see what the symbolical value, what the hidden, latent metaphor is, but we still choose to discard it. No, the reality actually is a lot different. Sometimes it does happen that we cannot at all access those very same metaphors. There are things that could be embedded in the things that we say, but the average person does actually not possess the capacity to do so. Once again, I guess the whole aspect of, sadly, I have yet again stranded myself from the actual reality. I have actually forgotten that truly, not every single person does try. There is no reason for somebody who never before saw it in that way to think that, you know what, everything has a latent metaphorical value, and I need to be capable of grasping that myself, and I need to be capable of seeing how that might be the case at all. That doesn't happen. In most cases, you live your whole life knowing that whatever you do, whatever you encounter, whatever you have happen and whatnot, will let you live your own life, but you don't need to worry about the value or the whole notion of, oh wow, yeah, is this thing related to these other aspects of life? Is this thing in some way, shape or form possessor of this encoded message? You don't really utilize that whole thing in your life that much. It's not like, oh no, why do you not do it? No, well, it's absolutely understandable that most people do not even engage with that. It's cool. I would go as far as to say that sometimes it can be absolutely damaging to have it happen. The inability to properly differentiate between what could be true in terms of a latent metaphor and what is in itself true takes a lot of time already to also identify of sometimes what I mentioned before. Sometimes I impose what I believe is an explanation for things. I need to step down and say this. It doesn't have to be the case. It doesn't require to be the case. I am not forced to see things in this way. And am I missing something? Let me try to actually think for a second what I haven't seen so far. No, but basically it's more than anything else that sadly there is too much of a custom for, you know what, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that I see, that I encounter has a value of this sort. Not always, sadly. Even if things do or could possess it, most of the time it isn't really necessary, nor it is the normal thing for anyone to try to look at that. To some extent, you can very much say that it is absolutely dangerous to be so bound to try to look for what might be that, once again, that latent meaning, that hidden message that is between the bars of what I am seeing and what not. It is taken most of the time as something actually damaging to the person to be so embedded in those things. And for the average person, once again, for the average show, basically, it's not something that's necessary, nor something that is to be celebrated, basically. But yeah, that's, I don't know, there has to be something that I might be forgetting, but that's the basic, the gist of it, of yeah, it does exist, but within very particular conditions. Not every single person does actually perceive it, and even if they could perceive it, they don't have the necessity to do so. There is no actual imposition of that. It is the point that I was trying to make, and did rely a little bit more on something else that I couldn't at the moment actually understand. It is absolutely amazing to be capable of, once again, getting when something means many more things than what you are just seeing on the front, so to speak, what you are believing that you're getting. The whole notion of, yeah, I can see when somebody is actually giving me these many other things that do not matter at all in what they are explaining to me, in what we are discussing, in what they are giving me as an answer for the question that I posed, whatever. It is useful, but it is not an innate encounter, so to speak. It's not something that happens every single day, that happens regularly. And I already said this other aspect of much less, it is something that we see as normal, or as, yeah, this is an understandable and actually necessary aspect of life. If it happens that we ever see it exist, it does so under the pretense, basically, of perhaps it has something to do with how we can try to understand it and how we can try to actually talk about it, so to speak, but not that it truly does exist in that way, you know? And it's because of that, I was saying, it is strange, because in the end, yeah, there are a lot of those same notions that impact our life, but to be so absurdly ignorant of them is strange. But yeah, in the end, we are not here to become observant of those things. Life can be lived fully without ever having to worry about those things. And there is, for most people, only need to think about what is the metaphorical value expressed or kept hidden, basically, within what is actually being expressed or whatever. But it is accessible. My point is, my actual point now, or my new point, my construction upon what I already said before, is, I will actually say, it is far more accessible than what I said before. I gave it that imposition of, yeah, you can only talk out the metaphors from that psychological aspect. I don't think so. I think every single person who has the access to understand it, basically, and be capable of putting that in any kind of practice, I will say that the issue is to actually see the necessity in doing so, because it is way too, not difficult, time consuming. It takes, once again, the expression of it might take years to actually grasp. In this case, I absolutely 100%, well, with absolute confidence, believe that it might be the case that, yeah, this could take years to actually grasp the, yeah, this is the intended meaning, this is the intended way of seeing things, this is the possible, accessible method, or not the way in which I can understand things properly, but rather yet another method of getting somehow to make sense of the world, and yet another tool at my disposal. To have that exist in itself is so complicated to achieve that, or based on the way in which we have gotten accustomed to live in this world nowadays, it gets seen as absolutely weird to want to have that happen. You You shouldn't want to spend years of your life building up a perception of that sort, basically. It can happen, but it doesn't mean that most people would, nor once again should want to have something like that. The whole encoding most of the time is always, perhaps there is nothing actually being expressed here and I don't need to worry about it myself. The easiest way of thinking about it is something along the lines of, you know what's the wonderful thing that happens here? You try to think about that quality and you ensure that you go crazy. It has a more proper way of getting called, but basically it simply gets discarded not because it truly is something bad, but rather because we have gotten accustomed to calling it bad, basically. Also, you have a dilemma. I almost died, sorry. Tell me what. If you want to, if you don't, I guess good luck with your dilemma. Sorry. Okay, Sister Cassia. So many towers. Fuck. It's. Give me a second. We need to deal with all of this. This, give me one of these. I think I don't have it. Give me one of these. Oh, okay. And there is another one over there. Ah, no, I have it covered. Good enough. This one. My computer overheats playing League, what I want to play. Light is so garbage, do you like it? Yeah, to some extent I like it. Holy moly. We crashed, almost. Did the stream actually die? I will have to check. You will have to check. I love Light. It lags so much. It's my favorite part out Blight is how much it actually lags. That was so random. Let me see. Did we lose any frames? Probably. No, we didn't. Is it worth? No, probably not. I think already at 80, it's dangerous for your CPU, so no. No, wait, sorry. No. You use C, so you're talking about Celsius. Who knows? I will say no, probably. You shouldn't. Not at all. You're going to only get a rate of your PC as fast as you are capable of. Also, wait. Did I see? It's the property? Survive. Yeah, this is about surviving the assault. What the fuck? Amazing. I am leveling the correct thing. I guess, unless I have that one option taken, I don't have guaranteed to only encounter that. Amazing. I love ultimatum, my favorite mechanic. Whatever. But yeah, no, you shouldn't probably. Even if you love Lee, I mean, you should try to lower the graphics to like the worst possible that they can be, just to see if that's going to work. I remember a friend of mine was complaining about Elden Ring not running perfectly on his PC, and he had a high-end PC. The issue was he was trying to play it at 4K. Unavoidably, that's not going to run at a solid 60 FPS if you force it that much. So yeah, perhaps check it. I have no clue, bro. I should know that the moment in which we lowered it, it worked better. My example is that yeah, sometimes you might have to lower the quality. So I recommend you to also try that, probably. Unless you don't want to, I don't know. Why is this lagging, actually? I love this. Turbo. Amazing. Atrophy. Oh my god. Also, no. Anyway, yeah. Smuggler's cache. How much I do not care about you, man. How much I do not care about that cache. I am good. I don't need it, actually. I think the only thing that I'm going to check is... Nothing dropped here? Good. But yeah, I was saying then, no, you should probably try to get it to work like that. Try to make sure that it functions. Even if you're playing already low quality, try to lower even more. I think supposedly League of Legends has like a lot of accessibility options for those very low-end PCs and whatnot, so yeah. But another possible explanation is you should try to also clean your PC perhaps. Because I think it's something like every single year that you clear it, you lose like 20% multiplicative of performance of your PC basically, so you most definitely should be cleaning it. But if you want to, I don't know, I cannot force you. No, I can actually force you to clean your PC if you don't want. Also, that's the encounter. Amazing. What's this thing? What is this thing? Originator map. Contains a map influenced by the originator's memories. Whatever is the originator. But yeah, thank you. I hope you probably get it checked more than anything else, yeah. Otherwise, if it doesn't work, no clue. Let me see this. What is this? Randoms enemies display. What's the point of enemies display their monster category? What do I gain with that, like, man? This thing, coin of restoration. I think I can sell it to postus. Let me see. No, I don't want anything. I have restoration, and I want chaos. 50 of this for 1 chaos? Wow. I don't want any, actually. Go have a very great day. You know what? I don't need it at all. Yeah, destroy it. Ah, what a price. This thing. Why do I have it saved? The fuck am I doing? Destroy it. There we go. This... No. This goes here. Okay. No, let me save everything. What now? Great map. It had 4 chaoses inside of it. Amazing. Yeah, I guess I'm good. I should probably do these things so as to fucking get rid of these maps. What a beautiful game. Forcing you to do those things. And let me get rid of you. There we go, destroy. So, it's time to do... What is it? Robberies. No, it's not called robberies, it's called... Yeah, what they're called. And you, what do you have to say? What do you have to say? Prepare heist. You, there we go. Okay. Anyway, I was trying to say, I guess I don't need anything really. After all, I am incredibly over level for these things already, so yeah, shouldn't be worrying about anything here. Probably, no, probably, I don't think so. To some extent, it's so incredibly hard to play this whole mechanic, sometimes actually, that I would be surprised if I do not die, actually. Also, wrong way. Absolutely wrong way. Yeah, amazing. And okay, there is a special... No? No, there wasn't any special guy. I thought there was one, but there isn't. Oh yeah. That. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Anything else? No. I was saying, then continuing with the point that I was trying to make. Huh? No, I'm not going to boost you. I don't need guidance in terms of, oh yeah, this is such a difficult mechanic. I understand how to do it. And I want to do it anyways, like I don't care about Geist. Probably absolutely something else, but not Heist. I care so little about Heist. I did try to play it before. I actually to some extent like it, but not today. I don't really feel like in this league. Rather, I don't feel like doing Heist. Also, what the fuck was that? There was a unique that dropped. What the fuck happened there? There was a unique that dropped, and it disappeared. What the fuck was that? I saw it for a split second exist before it vanished into the fucking clean air. Whatever. It didn't drop. What are you talking about? Perhaps. Or I positioned myself exactly to make it not drop or something. Who knows? No, you mean as it didn't exist? I saw it. I literally saw it, or I'm not going to go back to my own ball and clip it. That's terrible. Anyway, we can do it. We can escape here. Can we? No, we can't. No, it's over. Finally, a unique. The wool suits one. Good. Is it done? Yeah, to some extent it's done. To some extent, to some other extent, not at all. Let me... Okay. Yeah, finish. Not even remotely close. Harata. Yeah, it's absolutely. There was no misspelling there actually. You wrote it entirely well. But no, I stopped at like page. Not. How did I get one shot? Exactly how? What an amazing map. What happens? This is a mission, so it fails then. Great enough. Ah. What a beautiful thing. The opera still stands. The problem is not that I don't know what to do, it's that I am incredibly weak. There is nothing really changes, you know? No matter what you want to do in regards to that, there is nothing to do if the character is great or if it lacks defenses to be capable of not getting one-shotted like that. What an encounter that was. What a funny way to finish it. Not at all tilting. But it is whatever. Ah, man. And the best thing is to try to do it again here, just to probably also get one shot? I hope not, man. I'm going to absolutely lose it if I die again. Not really. I prefer getting rid of those impossible to remove maps from my inventory, so it's whatever. Even if I die, it doesn't matter in this case. But there were. No, it was okay. It was to some extent irritating actually. Anyway. Also, wait. You come here. But also what to here and open here. There we go. And over here we have this. Nothing? Ah. Yeah, I have such little damage sometimes. The problem is partially that, huh? Partially. It also isn't entirely right, what? Increasing defenses is... Yeah, oh. We do what we can. Also, can I just skip this? Like... Sort of. Sort of. That was almost insta-death, actually. Yeah, then probably, to some extent, I guess the issue is that I'm rushing way too much, so I shouldn't be doing that, but who am I to understand the rules? Standard lockpick? What the fuck is that? Also, that was the guy that killed me. The enforcer or something like that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah, there we go. Did I give man for the... Yeah. I have seen it. I have seen the one that I know the most is the... What's the name? The thing that they use to cover their mouths. Also, wait a second. I did get to mute, but it was amazing. I had to go and fucking kill a... What is it? Random, visually terrifying cockroach, so that's something certainly. What an encounter with nature. Anyways. Cucaracha, absolutely cucaracha. Also, what is this? Gaum's sign. Wow. This is actually good. Taking into consideration that I utilize endurances. It doesn't matter. That was something. Anyways. Back to the hideout. I think I literally opened the map and left. Ah, no, I didn't. I left it ready to be opened then, like, well, here. Tier 11? No, I cannot open that. Here? Dorianis. Ah, I am looking for the Sacred Blossom. Ah, it's over here. Wow. Absolutely weird placement. Anyway. Let me... Stuck, through. What an encounter with nature. How did I get 20 solar orbs from that thing? Can happen. Oh, this could actually be great. What am I actually trying to do? Tier 11 I can do. So I can do one of these. Give me this corrupted. Ah, it got corrupted into tier 12. Beautiful. I don't know if I can actually do it. Okay. Perhaps I can't. We will see. We will see. We will see. So much. Good enough. Whatever you say, man. But no. Trying to go back to what I was saying like 20 minutes ago or so. Also, no, wait, let me check. We didn't lag. We haven't had any issue whatsoever. What an amazing day. You would have expected that. Because I certainly wasn't, so. No, sorry, we did have issues. We did have the game itself, I think, has been lagging, or if it hasn't been the game, it has been the servers, which out of nowhere had incredibly strange moments of lag for no reason whatsoever. But yeah. What the fuck? What killed me even? Who knows? Something killed me. Can happen. I am unavoidably, I am at a not so easy area, so wouldn't be all that surprising. This guy? Or that guy? And also, getting a delirium mirror is even more. Yeah, it's absolutely worrisome. I do not have resistances to any of the stun properties that I have in delirium so far. I just need a mage blood. I just need a mage blood. I just need one mage blood and it will be fixed. Just need one mage blood and I will be capable of not dying. But oh, to get my mage blood. If I actually get it, life will be so different. Can you not kill me? What a monster. Ah, yeah. So what's the point here? Like, what's... Not what's the point, what's killing me? This game is still not having any way to actually identify what damages you and what not is such a beautiful thing. Okay, what do we have here? This thing... I am not going to buy it actually. This thing right there. The Reign of Chaos, I could buy it. This thing, I don't really know if I want to buy that particularly. Nothing, I guess. We will see. Whatever. No. Me when I get one stun. Beautiful. The build is fantastic. The up to when there is one enemy that can hit me hard enough to keep me still. And the best thing is not that I have never known about that issue. Holy moly! There we go, that's the 12 map, tier 12 map, absolutely wasted, because unavoidably I cannot survive to the pack of enemies that have that quality that kills me. So I forcibly die no matter what. I can perhaps get one of those... I don't even know their price, but one of the... Why are there 20,000 pillars around me? What's creating them? Are we done? Can I go back? Sort of. No. Okay. Whatever. Alva, my beloved. Do I actually want to do an incursion here? I think that I'm going to die instead of the incursion. And I don't even know what I want to do, so... There we go. Ah. Okay, Stone of Passage, we are right. Yeah, everything but the damage is the issue, actually. I am surprised that that is the case. You won't drop me a Stone of Passage, will you? No. Great enough, then that's this. So meaningful. Anyway. No, for real, I mentioned that, I think, literally when the fucking cockroach appeared in my house, and, literally, because of that, stopped trying to say anything, but yeah. The point, holy... This thing always creates what stuns me. Anyway. I need to change the stuff here. It cannot be that I'm actually going to lose it like this. It was a great map even. And the problem is not the damage at all, the problem is resistances. I was trying to say, or recapitulating where I left last second. Basically, the quality to identify things in the world is something that you actually train. It's not an innate quality of the person, nor it is something that every single human being should care about. And it's understandable enough that we, to some extent, do not have that exist in most cases. Because, in the end, it is already seen as something quote-unquote weird. That, yeah, you will want or care at all about what are the things that happen and what are the things that go through in existence to that degree, basically. So, from that point of view, it's understandable. It doesn't mean that it is acceptable, as in, yeah, it's fine that we don't really get to solve the issue of... You can say it like this. The problem of relying on this thing of understanding that metaphors exist within the things that are being expressed is that you're naturalizing a lot more. I don't need to properly, directly speak. I can just speak through metaphors because the other person does have the capacity to understand me, and that is bad. Also, you saw the Pokemon? Yeah, it was an Naya. It is an Alakazam, I think. It's so great. I think so, I don't know. Probably. At some point it's going to die, I have to assume. Holy fucking Ice Nova. But yeah, I was saying, can you stay still? That. Holy. Why is there a whirlwind over there? What is going on? No! I know what you are. Let me move. I know what you are. Let me, for the love of God, move. Yeah. I know exactly what you are. You... Did you die? Not yet. There we go. What an enemy. Also, what did I get? I get frozen, probably. That's what kills me. I have no immunity to ailments. To non-damaging ailments, probably. I have to guess, I don't really know. But yeah, I was saying, the whole nature of metaphors and the whole way in which we accept their existence as something good. Or once you see them, you also become biased towards the acceptance of those things, what doesn't get expressed directly but gets implied with those metaphors and whatnot. And you can access that degree of understanding, but it doesn't need to be the case. That's the problem. It doesn't need to be the case. And it opens the door to making things always be that function in that tone, basically, of, yeah, things can be all metaphorical. When most of reality should not be based on that. Truly, most of reality should actually have some extent of cementation on understandable, on direct things. But the first thing that the thing that I think matters the most is, yeah, it is actually accessible. It's not like, no, yeah, you know what, nobody can actually get the metaphorical aspects of existence. That is not just a wrong statement, but more along the lines of an absolutely damaging way of thinking out life. The whole aspect of, oh no, yeah, only a very handful select few people can actually understand all of that, and everyone else might as well be wasting their existence in trying to get it at all, you know? It doesn't have to be the case. Also, what the fuck is this guy? Why is he so strong? This one I don't know, actually. No! How much life did you have? A handful of life. Beautiful. No! That was the map. Fuck! Anyways, I grabbed this at the very least. Yeah. Also, what happens if I utilize an orb of scouting on this thing? We are going to get more of this. Okay. Understand all. Chaos resistance, elemental resistances, monsters maim on heat. I have here defense, movement speed, miscellaneous. No, what is it? The thing that says that you're immune to maim and whatnot. I know I have. You cannot be hindered, but then you have you cannot be maimed, so it's fucking over. Why? You're asking the wrong person. You expect me to actually know that? I have no clue, brother. Let me sell. No. Do I? Not really. What is this? Socketed Sims. Strength. Dexterity. Intelligence. This is actually great, no? Like. This increases 3 statistics. What do we have here? Rarity. Mana cost. So this is keeping me. How much do I have? 18. I don't know if I can actually keep that thing up with that current setting. But if I had this, how much will I have? 500. And how much HP does that give me? 3000. 14 something. Nothing. Not at all a substantial difference. And in damage, like 10,000, 98,000. What are you talking about? Wait. I have my auras deactivated. With this, when then understand also this will be great. Actually, I need to. Here comes the crafting. Can we do this manually? Like 3 sockets here. You know what? 4 sockets. Let's go 2 of these, and what am I looking for? It's 2 links, so it's Great enough. 3 red ones. Amazing, there we go. New hut. Herald of Purity, Flesh and Stone, Summon, and I might be forgetting something, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Wow, I gained 1,000 damage. No, wait. I did gain only 1,000 damage. Wow, so meaningful. Oh no, yeah, but when you look at the tooltip, shut up about the tooltip. What about changing this thing? I don't actually need it. Vitality, like, doesn't even matter. Lip Slam also doesn't even matter. What makes this hat good? Like, what makes it work, so to speak? The rarity? No. The reduced mana is great. The sockets, the 2 levels, the socketed gems. Bro, is that significant enough in this case? Perhaps? What do I actually need there? Who knows? Something tells me I'm going to go to the other thing instead. I thought it was going to be more substantial, this thing. How is it not substantial at all? Like, literally 414, 455, a total, a whooping total of not even 40, not even 30, I think, 31 extra HP. That's all that increases? Wow. Because it is from 9 to 15, and I have incredibly low dexterity and strength increases under standard. So this is actually quite bad. And what do you even utilize? Like a divine to randomize? No. Wait, this isn't corrupted. Can I? Yeah, you utilize a divine to change those values, and I am not going to utilize one. I am much better. Things like this. Yeah, we're good. I prefer this, actually. My, how much? 15% rarity and 17 reduced mana is good. What's the value? Yeah, as if I'm going to actually sell anything. Yeah. Anyway, I guess time to get this thing going with a proper map instead of a fucking over-leveled one. The problem is unavoidably all of them are going to be over-leveled. If I have to vote Blighter, I have to vote make them rare, then corrupts them, like... Okay, didn't. Great enough, I guess. Players cannot regenerate life, mana, or energy shield. What is my build based on, brother? What a great question. It is directly based on that, but right not, because I do not need to be capable of using that. It became a lighter map anyway, so doesn't matter. It became a fully lighter map somehow. Can occur. Also, I have no tier 10 map somehow. Target is corrupted. I am somewhat blind, sorry. Okay, continue. Hunter Mansion, this should really well. Compared to the last map, this should really well. Yeah. But yeah, after this brief 10-minute interruption on my chain of thought, that yeah, basically point being, I feel like it's something important, and I feel like more than anything else, yeah, I'm happy I understood what was the problem with all of that in terms of yeah, I think that was lacking in that formula was the glaring realization of yeah, to some extent, what matters when one tries to talk about the whole quality of the things that affect me in my life and whatnot is first and foremost that thing of indeed. I have some aspects that I have gotten myself accustomed to, which I have ignored. Not everyone is in itself accustomed to, but it does have an incredibly substantial importance when compared to everything else, so to speak. Also, couldn't I utilize this thing to defend myself, like flesh and stone, but as a defensive skill instead of as an aggressive one? Probably. I might want to do it. Not really. But yeah, I feel like that's the most important thing. I felt like after I finally understood that I got to remember that aspect basically, things finally made a little bit more sense. It it is strange sometimes, I guess, to be so incapable of ignoring things that once you actually get what's the point, feel like the most obvious answer, but part of wondering out life is understanding that indeed it can happen. Indeed. You can have many things that you ended up absolutely taking for granted or assuming that play no importance in your life when they actually do, to the extent to which there are, I wouldn't say consequences, but simply enough aspects of life itself that do rely on the understanding of those other questions that one couldn't exactly grasp. But the most important thing is, first and foremost, to, yeah, keep on asking, basically. Keep on trying to make sense. At some point, always things get to make sense, so how to not be happy about that, basically. Two things at the same time? Amazing. Also, give me a second. My door opened because I didn't close it properly. There we go. Anyways. That whole fucking cockroach event was amazing. Whatever. Give me a little bit of this. Give me this. Give me this. Do you actually have anything important? Not really. Is any other thing with an important drop over here? Well, I guess. What are these things? Yo. Oh, a pillar. Okay, that's it. Oh my god! I almost died. Almost. But not exactly did so I'm fine actually. Also, no, I have no mana. There we go. Timeless market splinter, good enough. True, and I know, didn't I? No, I didn't kill anyone over there. I didn't activate rather anyone over there. And you... Something stunned me actually, so I almost fucking died. No! Bleeding. My beloved bleeding. Fucking... No, man. Don't kill me because I... No! Cannot do this to me. No! It's rotundly unfair. Okay. I can tank it out. No? No, I can't. Oh my god. Good enough. Once again. Yeah. Where's my Belit flask? In my imagination. That's where I saved those kind of flasks. I will actually need like 1,000 different flasks at this point. A Belit flask, an ignite. No, well, I think I don't die particularly to ignite, but a frozen flask. That's why I say a mage blood will actually save me at this point. But it won't happen, so... And if it does, we have won, so... We will see. We have to rely on randomness and the chaos of this existence. Also, you didn't open, what the fuck? Ah, I got... Deserved. Phrases when activated, indeed. So triumphy. Favorite quality, actually. That it did freeze when it did get activated. Fucking... What the... And how do you... Where are you? What is the guy that I didn't kill? Like, where did they run towards? Where did I make them run to begin with? Why am I dying? I had like 9 marks of something out of nowhere. They died here? No way. No way. They have to be alive over here. Okay, yeah. Impossible for you to not die, man. Terrible. Ah, that's the mechanic. Wow. So. Before doing anything else, let me actually try to do those. Is the was even close to here? Something tells me that... Ah, yeah, it is. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What are half of those things, man? Like, why are there 2 bosses to begin with? Since when are there 2? No! Good stand. Deserved. What's up, Pumpy? No. That one was my issue. That was totally my issue, actually. That's one I cannot get angry about. I did actually walk into it. Entirely my fault. No. Why the... You instant stun me, man. And those lasers are also almost like insta-kill. Amazing. Held more. Thank you so much, Maven. You are the funniest boss ever. Or the funniest observer of fights, I guess, also. Oh, yeah. We're gonna do it slowly. At some point they are going to die. We're gonna take 20 minutes to kill them, but we are going to win. What killed me? The area, the huge fucking area of the laser. I'm about to lose it, man. This is the moment in which I rage quit, actually. Can happen. Can absolutely happen. You do not inherently take less damage for having fortification. Increased attack and cast speed, So this is like bad. Me, when I try to build something, and I think something tells me I need less damage still. I just need defenses. That's the only problem here. But how? I like having no way of knowing how did I die there. Like, for some reason you die. The question is, what killed you? Great question. Every single one here asks the same thing. So, what can I get rid of? This thing? That's too great. This thing? That's too great. It has to be something like this. That doesn't seem to matter that much. Like 110, 100. Okay, this is 2000. That is not that important in the grand scheme of things. What a wonderful player. Probably at this point I should just try to actually get a working armor instead of this thing. In the end, it wasn't all that useful. I thought that it was going to be like absolutely game changer, as they will say, but I greatly misjudged how wonderful the Abyss jewels were. I overestimated their usefulness to an extent to which now it is coming to bite me in the ass, absolutely. Catalyst, how many do I have? Attack modifier, sentimental, physical, attributes. I could also try to change the belts, like if I remove it. I don't really lose that much. It isn't that impactful. Okay. Okay. It's gonna be time to actually buy a new belt, and I have been evading doing that in hopes of getting a fucking... It's never going to happen. Never going to get a fucking Majula. Or what time is it? It's 1 AM for me, yeah. I have it inside of the game. I am so here. Inside of the game, yeah, okay. 1 AM. We could have spent like 1 hour trying to roll for a fucking... What's the name? Mage Blood. It's not guaranteed. That's the best part of that. It's not guaranteed at all. It's absolutely not guaranteed. And also, let me see. Like, Faustus, currency exchange. I have here chaoses, and I want no chance. With one of these, I avoid 8. How much gold do I have? 200. So if I spend... I don't even know. Also, I don't even know when I made it, sorry. Did I actually rage at some point and hit the mid button? Perhaps. Can happen. Natural. So, it's a unique heavy belt indeed. Ay. We're on to actually do it. I need to... Okay. At some point, things will go our way, and if they don't, we cry. What's up with you, Terra? Funniest part of the... Also, what do I do with all of these stacks if I actually hit it fast enough? Great question. No clue. I don't think I'm going to hit it, but we have to trust the process. Also, can't I do something like this? No. I need to actually click one, then the other, then one, then the other. Funniest part of the gameplay. At some point it's going to work. Just know that it is going to work, and if it doesn't work, if gambling doesn't work, then we all get surprised. I know that it is something like worms are what you get the most out of doing this, supposedly, so we're gonna see. But until then, I don't know. Something about the nature of gambling and the nature of being capable of accepting gambling as such a normal thing. It's such a way of entertainment that has gotten so normalized that in the end, and nobody really cares how we think about it and whatnot. It is whatever it is, and we are fine with it, so we all participate on it anyways. Why bother thinking about it at all, you know? Even if something might get lost with gambling, no one has to bat an eye for it. Dear God. So far, not even one rare. Beautiful. I tried. Not really that card, it was the unavoidable consequence of believing that I can get it. I still have several hundreds of these fucking orbs of chance anyways. So it's going to be funny if I get it, but it's not going to happen. Being realistically speaking, yeah. The chances of hitting the jackpot are so low that it won't occur. Even for the beat, it won't occur. Yeah. I need something else. I need something like 5 or 6 of these heavy belts and have this entire row of them available. Yeah, completely let's go gambling. Completely gambling addicted. But willing to admit to it, I guess. Let me see. Do you have... Who is that sells them? You have... Okay, you have one here. And another one here. I can scour this one and this one. And now I can do it a little bit faster. The issue is I hit purchase, you don't refresh them, right? Like, how do you refresh them? What do you have to hit? This created. Choose an instance, you cannot refresh the instance. Beautiful. If I come back now, if doing that resets the vendor, I don't think so, right? Indeed it doesn't. How do you reset it? Like, perhaps there is no way. Forest encampment? Do you have 212,000 chance orbs? Do you think? No. It doesn't take that many. No way it takes that many. You have to be soaking with me. No way it's going to take that many. No, I don't have that many. It's not going to take that many. You are crazy. It doesn't take that many. It has to be like one between 40,000? 40,000 is still way too fucking high. 40,000 is way too high, actually. One of them is going to work. Just you watch. And when it works, we're all going to laugh and we're all going to celebrate and we are going to be liberated from this punishment.